Welcome back to Life's Chillent. My name is Avital, and this week's Parshat is Parshat Tisa, which the central story of Tisa, or the one that is maybe most memorable, is the story of the Jewish people creating the golden calf. So for context, the Jewish people are in the desert. Moses has ascended Mount Sinai for what he told the people will be 40 days and 40 nights. The Jewish people believe that those 40 days and 40 nights are up because they have miscalculated how long it is that Moses has been gone. And the people start to get really, truly, deeply concerned because Moses hasn't returned, and they assume that he's not coming back. And they feel like they need Moses as their emissary between them, the people, and between God. They don't feel like they can have a direct connection with God. And they start to really panic. And so they went to Aaron and they said, "Rise up, make for us gods that will go before us. For this man Moses, who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what became of him." So they assume, what happened to Moses, they have no idea. And so they ask Aaron to do something about it to make them a god. And Aaron, the commentator suggests this was to try and buy time, but Aaron tells the Jewish people, "Bring me all your gold, bring me all your jewelry." And Aaron, the people do that very quickly. They bring Aaron all of the things that he told them to bring. Aaron puts the metals, the gold, the silver, all the jewelry, into a big fire, and out emerges this calf, the golden calf. And the people are relieved. They're so happy. Now they have something to serve once again. And so the people make offerings. They bring sacrifices to this golden calf, and they begin to serve the calf. Meantime, Moses is still on Mount Sinai in this special meeting with God where God is teaching him all of the laws and sharing with him Torah, and Moses is learning and absorbing and taking all these things from God. And God tells Moses what the people have done. He says they've, made themselves an idol. So God tells Moses, "Let my anger flare up against them and I shall annihilate them." So God is saying that he's going to wipe out the people for what they've done, that he has decided that, this sort of generation, these people have sinned to such a degree that they don't deserve to live anymore. That's what God has come to this place of being just so angry and so upset. And Moses pleaded with God. He had to argue with God not to kill the Jewish people. And it says, the Torah tells us, Hashem reconsidered. So through Moses' playing with God not to destroy the Jewish people and not to do it just because of this sin, Hashem reconsidered and he didn't wipe out the people. So the next morning, after all of this commotion, Moses descends the mountain with the 2 stone tablets that God had made for him. The Torah tells us that these 2 tablets that Moses brought down with him were inscribed by the finger of God. God himself inscribed the 10 Commandments into these 2 tablets, the tablets of testimony that Moses was bringing down from Har Sinai, from Mount Sinai. And Moses descends the mountain with these tablets, and he sees that the Jewish people are dancing. They are rejoicing. They're celebrating with this idol that they made, with these offerings that they're bringing to this idol. And he's so distraught and so upset and angry, and he takes these 2 tablets and he smashes them to the ground, and they shatter. And they completely break. There's nothing left of them. And Moses was so upset with what the people had done. And he takes the calf and he melts it back in the fire so that it disintegrates as well. So just a total destruction of all of the remnants, both of the tablets and of this calf. And after this, so again, Moses was very angry, but he decides that he's going to return to Mount Sinai, to Har Sinai, and he's going to plead with God to give them a second set of tablets. So Moses does that. He goes back to Har Sinai, and in the end of the Parsha, he does get 2 new tablets that he inscribes and brings them back down to the Jewish people. So this was a really interesting, dramatic Parsha. Lots and lots of things going on here. But I took away a certain message from these 3 elements, from the way the people reacted to Moses not returning, from God's reaction to what the people had done and wanting to destroy them, and to Moses seeing what the people did and smashing the tablets. And the connection that I sort of made between them, it's really a story about patience and about being uncomfortable in your emotions. The Jewish people were afraid. They were terrified not to have an emissary between themselves and between God. They felt like they had to have something to serve. They were so afraid to stand on their own or to be patient or to wait a little longer to see if Moses would come back or what would come of him, or to send somebody to see, where did Moses go? Is he okay? The people were so afraid that they needed an immediate fix. They couldn't sit and ruminate in those emotions. They didn't have patience. They didn't have the patience to see what would be. They had to act right then and right there. God, in his response, immediately his first reaction is, the Jewish people have sinned. It's so painful and so egregious. I'm going to annihilate them. I'm going to wipe out the people. I'm going to destroy them. And Moses, when he sees the Jewish people, he smashes those tablets. So God, his initial reaction was to be so upset and to be so angry, but with time and with Moses speaking with him, he was able to calm himself down in a sense, or to see a different perspective and decide not to destroy the Jewish people. So it's interesting because by watching how God's feelings towards the Jewish people changed through Moses' persuasion, we're able to see that our initial reaction is not always the best response. That sometimes being patient, sometimes being a little bit uncomfortable in our emotions, not being afraid of sitting in something that isn't natural for us or that we would like to just move on from, is actually the better course of action rather than just responding out of fear, out of discomfort. And we see that Moses, in his initial reaction, how he just smashed the tablets when he was angry, which commentators have a lot to say on it, and they do view that as Moses, not as Moses making an error, but as Moses doing the right thing. But later in the Torah, in Parshat Korach, actually, Moses gets accused of something by the Jewish people, something that's very sort of painful and personal to him. And obviously he's upset about it as well, but he responds to the people by saying, we'll wait till the morning to see what to do, basically. And Moses, taking that approach of, I'm not going to respond to the situation where I'm angry right now, even though I would love to just, let it all out on these people, but I'm going to wait until the morning and then see what would be best to do. That's a really powerful lesson. What we can see from this Parsha is that, again, that initial response is not always the best response. It's coming from our emotions and not as much from our minds. It's not coming from that rational place of logic and having the time to think through things as much as it is from this internal sensation of being uncomfortable. But if we can learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if we can learn to have a little bit more patience with ourselves, with situations, to see how they'll develop rather than just trying to make them feel better, we're really likely to make much better decisions. We're all only here because of God's patience with the Jewish people in the desert after they made this big sin, and his deciding not to annihilate them right away, but to wait and to be patient and to come to a more sort of rational-minded place. We're all here because of that. And so I hope that we can all take these lessons to heart. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a great week ahead, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.